Yeah, we're here again on another episode of Women in Sustainability Stories. And today we are honored to have with us a remarkable guest in the person of Dr. Khadija Owusu, who is doing amazing work in the field of sustainability and women empowerment. So, Dr. Khadija Owusu is an award winning leader, international speaker, and a junior doctor. She is also the founder of AKAYA and director of programs at Melanin Medics, Equality and Diversity Board member of Elizabeth Garrett Anderson School, and also an ambassador at Guba Enterprise and trustee for Charity Raising Future in Kenya. You're welcome. So I know you have been doing a lot of amazing work. I want you to do an introduction, like tell us who you are.
Um, well, where do I begin? My name's Khadija, as you mentioned. My day job, I work as a doctor, so I'm mostly based in the UK. Background is, or my parents, as some would say, are from Ghana. I was born and raised in the UK. So yes, I am Ghanaian. I go back to Ghana quite often, and especially now that we have the non-profit AKAYA. But yes, I think you pretty much summed up all that you said earlier.
Wow. So what is it like being a doctor and also doing a lot of, I see that you do a lot of women empowerment stuff. You're also saying that you are the founder of AKAYA. Maybe give us a little background. What is AKAYA and what do they do?
Cool. Yeah, so AKAYA is a nonprofit that I founded in terms of the story, what happened was I finished medical school in 2021, decided to go back to Ghana after not being back home for about almost 10 years. So I actually run a charity here called Melanin Medics. So I do have a lot of experience in the nonprofit space. So I was like, I'm going to go back to Ghana. I really want to do something in relation to giving back. So that is when we managed to trial some sort of workshop with a bunch of secondary school girls focusing on menstrual hygiene and confidence, which is now our flagship program, to be honest, that we currently run. So from that session, we did a couple more, getting more support of individuals through fundraising. And then after our second round, we decided, we actually have something impactful here. Let's be serious. Let's register and see what we can do. So AKAYA became official end of 2022. We officially launched in Ghana at the British Council in Accra, March 2023. So we're almost exactly 1 year old next month. But essentially, we are a nonprofit focusing on the personal and professional development of the next generation of young leaders who are female and African. So we work on building their confidence, ensuring that they reach their full potential, centering their voices as the key individuals. So that's AKAYA in a nutshell. I think you're muted.
Thank you. So what exactly inspires you? Because you rarely see doctors like venturing into stuff like that. What has been your inspiration venturing into the nonprofit space and trying to make an impact in that space?
Me personally, I've always been somebody that loves to give back, loves to help other people, no matter how big or small. It doesn't necessarily mean setting up your own thing, especially growing up through secondary school. My first sort of official experience in the nonprofit space is with my other charity called Melanin Medics, which is based in the UK, having a look at sort of racial representation of Black doctors in medicine here. And that came about from when I was halfway through medical school, and that charity turned 7 years this year. So I've had that long-standing experience. And it just reached a point where I was like, I actually, I have so much experience and have managed to impact a lot of young lives in the UK. I also want to do the same in Ghana.
Interesting. So what has been one of the major challenges trying to make an impact in the space as a woman?
Do you mean pertaining to making an impact in Ghana or
Yes.
general?
General, you can highlight any of the examples that you worked with.
I think
what is the difference? Maybe you've had that experience in the UK, you had that experience in Ghana. You can highlight how the challenges differ in both spaces. Yeah.
Where do I begin? Okay, I would say, first of all, the non-profit sector in general can be quite difficult. And in order for, it makes sense as to why you hear how a lot of individuals may start or may want to have the passion to set up organizations. But in relation to hearing about organizations that have that longevity or are able to withstand, you don't often hear that many, and it's understandable because it is a tough environment or a tough sector to be in. Main differences, UK versus Ghana wise, I would definitely say, number one, potentially funding wise. There are a lot more opportunities in the UK compared to Ghana. Number two, I think regardless of what sector you're in, comparing the two countries in relation to how systems work, there is a huge difference. So when it comes to things maybe as basic as communication, a lot of the time in the UK, things are done quickly, or agreements are made, or discussions are had, whether it be virtual meetings, but also email communication is very solid. Whereas in Ghana, it's not as solid. And a lot of institutions are still in the you need to bring a letter to the office vibe, which is who has time? So yes, there are, some minor key differences there. And I think mindset wise, when you hear about nonprofit or the space within the UK, it's, giving back, and institutions being more open to giving back without asking necessarily what's in return. However, on the other side, sometimes you may get the odd sort of questions or ideas relating to, okay, well, what are we getting out of this? Which can be understandable. However, in the nonprofit space, what you get out of helping or providing support or partnering with a nonprofit is the impact that the nonprofit then makes through your partnership. And that impacts, if it's a great partnership, goes beyond, anything else that you can possibly want to get out of it.
Wow, this is interesting. Looking at this two landscape, it's very obvious that it's kind of challenging when you trying to do a lot of things here with in-person letters and all of that. But what has been that one success story that you're highlighting? What exactly made it more successful? What would you say has been that one example?
So in a way, you're asking sort of what has kept us going?
Yes.
Number one, I would say team.
Okay.
The team, majority of the team members in AKAYA are based in Ghana. And I would definitely say, without the team, I don't know where we would be. Team is definitely number one in relation to, we know, that having all the particular cause or our mission is very, very important. That is our number one thing that we look to. And so keeping that, I guess, as a priority in everything that we do has kept us along on this journey. We I would say the team has sort of become like a family, even though we're almost 1 year old. But I think that is definitely something that has kept us going. And I always commend them because I'm so blessed to actually have them be fully on board with AKAYA and its mission. Because, I mean, if you put things into context, I am just, a random girl that just finished medical school in the UK, came across I guess I call her my second in command, one of my team members. And she, I guess, brought on the other team members, and now we've sort of become a family. So complete strangers to now becoming family, fighting for an important, very, very important mission or cause. That's number one that has kept us going. And then number two, I'll definitely say is the impact. Like, we recently reviewed our 2023 impact, and for just under 1 years old, what we've been able to do, it blows my mind. And so, despite the challenges, we still, persevere and actually end up creating beautiful impacts through our various initiatives. And that just gives us more energy to be like, okay, well, what's next? What are we going to do? So, yeah.
That sounds interesting. So talking about your team, it looks like it's been one of your strong points, like moving the organization this far. How did you do that? What informed your selection? Because it's something that others could also learn from, because we want to know, yes, just how did you put together?
Yeah. So, I first met, her name's Candy Bell. So she was our official secretary, but now has transitioned into our projects consultant role. And she's the number one. Without her, there would be no AKAYA, or even, our first initiative that we started to do in the secondary schools. So she was somebody that was actually following me on social media. And she sent a message. I think she came across one of my interviews on TV in the UK. She sent a message being how I inspired her. And then I actually decided, let me stalk this girl. And I realized she actually has quite a bit of a volunteering experience in different schools and stuff. So I messaged her to be like, I'm coming to Ghana for this time period. It'll be great for me to deliver a session with some girls. So is it okay if you can help set something up? And she did. And then eventually we had that first session where we engaged about 110 girls in a school. And then since then we had more sessions. And then it was I think it was this time last year where we had expanded the team. But the team members that we had onboarded were actually working on a particular project. So they were working on our AfriGirl conference. But through that, we, especially working on a conference of that scale, you work very closely together. And we built a relationship beyond that particular project to the extent where it's like, okay, well, now, you guys are embedded in AKAYA. And so that's how we're going to move forward. So it's crucially, or most importantly, through my girl Candy, who handpicked incredible people that she knew would be amazing. And then also we have a few other team members who were initially who had signed up to be volunteers like in the early years and have remained with us since. So yeah.
Interesting. So do you, which kind of organization or institutions do you work with? Do you only do with schools, or do you work with other organizations, or what are your impacts? Which people are your audience? Yeah.
So we are all over the country, but essentially our projects cater to, let's say, different age groups, but overall AKAYA is for young women and girls. But that doesn't go to say that if there is a young boy or if there is a man that is receiving or engaging with any of our work, we would be like, hello, get out of the room. That's absolutely not how we roll because it's important to have men and young men in some of the conversations that we have because they have to be our allies and advocates as well. But let's say with the Like Her project, that is a nationwide secondary school outreach workshop, which includes the donation of educational and health supplies for the young girls. That is more focused at the junior high school as well as secondary school girls. We have an internship program that we launched last summer, which is targeted at the female university students. The AfriGirl Conference is a combination of secondary school, or we call it senior high school, isn't it? The senior high school girls and university students, plus anyone that is interested. And then our latest project, which is Project AC, is more so focused on renovating or developing school buildings. So I guess in relation to school, it's whichever school we decide to intervene and offer our support, that is the particular age category. But to summarize, we just say young women and girls.
This is really amazing. I think you're doing such an amazing work for someone who is living in the UK to think about making an impact in Africa, Ghana, where there are not many opportunities. I think this is also a bit of just to just have enjoy your life because you might probably be comfortable, but thinking about the less privileged, I think it's really awesome. And I want to know, how do you get support? Like, is it self-funded? Do you get support? Do you partner with other organizations to make this impact?
So with support wise, obviously initially when we did the first one, because I was like, this is something I want to try. Of course, it was self-funded. But once I realized that, this can actually make a difference, you are then able to rope in the support of, let's say, your close network. So friends, family, do a little bit of a fundraiser. So that's how the second round went. It wasn't until we became official when we actually did some fundraising. We launched a fundraising campaign last year. Other support comes through, of course, individual donations, comes through sponsorships for some of our particular programs, and some corporate partnerships as well. So yeah, we've had incredible partners. I think we've had over 30 in the last year from when we did our impact recap. And it ranges from companies that obviously offer support financially to all the way through to companies that offer us in-kind support. A lot of the Ghanaian companies are more than happy to offer in-kind support. So we've had the pleasure of working with, there's so many, like Bell Aqua, Flora Tissues, Ultimate Water, MNX with their hand sanitizers, a few other organizations that are able to offer their support in other ways as opposed to just financial, because a lot of the time we often think, okay, well, we just always need money, but there are other ways that some individuals or some corporations can offer their support if they don't necessarily also do cash. But yes, with the non-profits, you have to, I guess, diversify your streams, because it's not all the time that you can rely on people to always give. It is amazing when individuals give, because it's like you can directly tell them, this is where your money went to. These are the lives that you're changing, which is, I feel like that is the best way. But there's also other ways to look at getting some funding as well.
That's incredible. And I love your passion because, I mean, like, there are lots of NGOs that are always complaining it's hard to get money, but it's, in as much as it's hard, it requires a lot of effort. And I can see the effort that you put in it, because it's not easy to go out there to ask for money. But I think a lot of NGO needs support. And I'm glad that you have a great team that is pulling this through. And I know that this is not the end. You still need more support to be able to do a lot of the work that you have planned out. Yeah. So what what advice would you give to people out there starting a nonprofit organization and also having their like personal jobs to attend to? How has it been like juggling this two? And what advice
Mhm.
would you give to anybody who's out there doing the same thing?
Yeah. My advice in juggling the two, hmm, I would definitely say it is doable, it is possible to manage both. Um, because if you are, I guess, equally passionate about them both, or maybe you're a bit passionate about one compared to the other, you will still find time to somehow make it work. So definitely be aware of the time that you're investing into both. If you need to set aside time to work on the other, then please, by all means, do so. And sometimes, when it comes to those who are interested in the nonprofit space anyway, sometimes that's where your passion lies, but your day job is there because it pays the bills at the end of the day. So in order to fuel yourself, make yourself happy, look after your mental health, if it means working on your nonprofit to bring you some sort of peace or fulfillment or purpose, then definitely prioritize that as well as all the other things that you prioritize. Um, yeah, that would be my, I guess, advice.
Yeah, that's a great one. So what is your
Oh,
upcoming
another
project?
one actually,
Okay,
I
sure.
would
Let's
say
let's get it.
is sometimes we may wake up and think, oh, I want to start this, I want to do this, I want to start that. But rather than just wanting to try and start something, I think it's very important to get experience. Get experience in working with or volunteering for other nonprofit organizations who might share the same values as you do. Build that experience, offer your supports there, because sometimes, more often than not, you might not necessarily have to go through the whole wahala of setting your own one up. You can actually just invest yourself in perhaps an already existing or perhaps a new one, and really embed yourself there and be an integral part of the organization. So yeah, a key thing is to make sure you get experience before jumping into wanting to do things on your own.
I totally agree with that because then you get the skills, you try to understand the space better, you know how to be strategic. So I want to know what's some of your upcoming projects this year.
Mhm. Um, right now, currently, we have our writing competition, which we launched on the 1st of February. So we have two categories. We have junior and senior. So if anybody is aged 13 to 19 years old, um, that they fit in the junior category. If you're 20 to 29 years old, you fit in a senior category. And essentially, the writing competition invites everyone who fit those two categories. Female, you have to be female, and Ghanaian, of course. Um, you are invited to submit a writing piece, whether it be fiction, non-fiction, or a poem, maximum 1,000 words. All the information is on our website. It has to be unpublished. You've never published it anywhere. Submit into our competition. We do have some prizes for the winners. On our flyer, we actually disclose what the first place prizes are. So if you're a junior, you win a tablet, some cash, and sort of a nice educational gift hamper. If you're senior, it's the same, but rather than a tablet, you will be gifted a laptop. And then there are second and third place prizes as well. So that is what is occupying us at the moment. We're getting a lot of buzz in relation to the competition, both great, but also very funny as well. Some of the questions that we've been receiving. But yeah, all the information is on the website. What else is coming up? Our 1 year anniversary is coming up, so we're hoping to celebrate, God willing. We also are going to be launching a new program, a new initiative, um, which will be very exciting. A key focus on mental health. Obviously young girls, but this time again at university, but facing extreme circumstances. We definitely think that young people and mental health is not something that we talk about a lot. So this program is especially for those girls experiencing some specific challenges. Our internship program will be back this year around the June, July time period. So if anybody is interested, because I'm hearing a lot of people are really waiting. We've been sharing our testimonials for some of the girls that, the girls that graduated last year, and there's a lot of pressure on us to relaunch the program. But yes, very soon. So yeah, that's the next couple of months. We will be running our Like Her project sessions in the schools across Ghana intermittently as well. So yeah.
This is amazing. And how long does your internship program last?
Yes, it is 2.5 months paid experience to come at the moment to come and work for us at AKAYA. Last year we had 5 university students from various universities across Ghana. This year there's a question mark on if we will expand, but we'll definitely have at least 5 girls, and you come and work in various roles. It's not easy. The girls will tell you that the pressure was a lot, especially when you're balanced with your studies. But that's what it's all about, because when you graduate from university, it's only going to get worse. Adulthood will, give you a slap in the face. So aside working for us, they receive intense mentorship from experts, not just from Ghana, but across, on emotional intelligence, which is something you don't learn in school. Public speaking, leadership, making an impact, employability. So making sure that your CV is top notch. So many other things that they go through within those 2.5 months. On top of that, you have to work together to come up with a project that will create social impact that, if it's good enough, AKAYA will help you, will help invest for you guys to actually do the project. So it's very intense, but the girls loved it. And, they actually, complete strangers, and they now like sort of little sisters together. But yeah.
I'm sure even after the 2 months, they still would love to be hanging around.
Oh yeah, the group chat, they are always talking and disturbing me.
Interesting. I can see that you have this amazing and holistic experience for these women. I think it's awesome to give them that kind of mentorship, because most of the time we lack people that can mentor us, and sometimes it's not their fault, they just don't have the time. So having to bridge that gap is very important. Getting people and then getting those that need it. I think it's really awesome. And we're really proud of all the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're just up to the time. I don't know if you have anything else that I probably didn't ask, but you could chip it in.
No, I think just in general, for anybody that wants more information, you can check us out at www.akayafoundation.com. We're on LinkedIn. Our LinkedIn name is AKAYA, AKAYA. Our Instagram is at AKAYA Foundation. So we are very, very active on social media. Follow us there. Any announcements, any opportunities for you to sign up, or you'll find it along social media firsthand. So yeah.
Okay. And if people want to donate, where do they go to? On the website?
For donation on the website, when you go on the website, the homepage, the top right hand corner, there is a donate button. But that is more so for receiving card payments. If you would prefer to use mobile money or anything like that, send us or fill out the contact form on the website, and we'll provide you with the mobile money details as well. And yeah, we will be so grateful.
Wow. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. We have come to the end of today's discussion with Khadija Owusu. We're so grateful for your time, and it's really a pleasure having you. Yeah, so if we encourage all of you out there to follow us on all our social media handles at Women for Sustainability Africa or W4S Africa, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We are always around to support you. Thank you and stay tuned for the next episode.